Lightning tore through the sky above Crestwood Meadows, a jagged scar illuminating the neighborhood's flawless lawns and identical beige homes. Rain pounded the earth like a vengeful fist, turning pristine sidewalks into torrents and rattling shutters with gale-force winds. A transformer exploded in the distance, plunging the block into darkness. Inside her new house, Sarah Bennett gripped the edge of her kitchen counter, her pulse racing as the storm's howl drowned out her thoughts. She'd moved here for a quiet life, a refuge after years of high-stakes shifts as an ER nurse. But tonight, as the power died and her phone buzzed with a desperate text from her neighbor, Nora Ellis, Sarah, my machine stopped. Help she knew peace was a lie. Something was terribly wrong, and Sarah wasn't about to let it win. She grabbed a flashlight, yanked on a raincoat, and plunged into the chaos. The storm fought her every step, hurling branches and debris across her path. Crestwood Meadows, with its HOA-dictated perfection, was crumbling under nature's wrath. Sarah's boots slogged through ankle-deep water as she reached Nora's house, 3 doors down. She pounded on the door, shouting over the wind. No answer. Her flashlight beam danced across the window's nothing. Fear clawed her chest. Nora's dialysis machine needed power, and without it, she was running out of time. Sarah tried the knob locked. She circled the house, rain blinding her, until she found a small laundry room window. With a brick from the garden, she smashed it open, crawled through, and landed in a heap, her knees scraped raw. Nora, she called, her voice echoing in the silent house. The storm roared outside, but inside, the absence of the machine's hum was deafening. Crestwood Meadows was a monument to order. Lawns were clipped to an exact inch, mailboxes painted slate gray, dogwoods planted in precise rows. The Homeowners Association, led by the steely Eleanor Price, enforced a 120-page rulebook that controlled every detail: shutter colors, fence heights, even the type of mulch allowed in flower beds. Residents complied, not out of loyalty, but fear. A single missteeper wreath too bright, a car parked too long brought a citation from Eleanor, her polite letters laced with menace. Nobody wanted to cross her. Sarah, 56 and semi-retired, had come to Crestwood for calm. Her career had been a blur of trauma bays and code blues, of lives hanging by threads. She'd grown up in a small town where neighbors shared tools and gossip, not rulebooks. Crestwood's promise of community appealed to her weary heart, but on MOVYing day, when a neighbor handed her the HOA manual with a strained smile, Sarah sensed trouble. The rules were obsessive, none stranger than the ban on permanent backup generators. Portable ones required permits, with storage and usage so restricted they were nearly useless. Sarah, who'd seen power outages kill in hospitals, couldn't fathom it. When she asked neighbors, their answers were vague muttered excuses about noise or aesthetics, their eyes avoiding hers. Then she met Nora Ellis, a 71-year-old widow who lived alone. Nora was fragile, her body battered by kidney disease, her dialysis machine a constant companion. Sarah brought over muffins one Sunday, hoping to connect. Nora's home was warm, cluttered with knitted throws and family photos, the machine humming in the corner like a watchful guardian. Over coffee, Nora shared her life for her late husband, her kids scattered across states, her love for Crestwood despite its flaws. When Sarah mentioned the generator ban, Nora's face darkened. I fought them for years, she said, her voice sharp. My machine needs power. I've begged for an exception offer to hide it, soundproof it, anything. They say it's about VY Sewell harmony. Harmony, she laughed bitterly. I've got a portable unit, but the rules are a maze. Last time I ran it, I got a fine. They said it disturbed the neighbors. Sarah's stomach twisted. She'd watched patients die when equipment failed. What if the power goes out? Nora shrugged, her eyes tired. I hope it doesn't. Why stay? Sarah asked softly. This is my home, Nora said. 30 years of memories. The house is built for Mino steps, a ramp out front. MOVYing would break me. I shouldn't have to flee because of their nonsense. Sarah nodded, a spark of defiance flaring. She'd faced down hospital bureaucrats before. This was no different. Sarah started attending HOA meetings held monthly in a sterile community center. Eleanor Price presided, her platinum hair flawless, her gaze piercing. The board Tom Carver, Lisa Nguyen, Greg Holt, and Diane Walsh sat like her lieutenants, nodding at her every word. Few residents showed up, their faces a mix of resignation and nerves. Sarah took notes, trying to crack the board's logic. At her first meeting, she raised Nora's case. Nora Ellis needs a generator for her dialysis, she said, her tone steady. A power outage could be fatal. Can we allow medical exemptions? The room froze. A couple of neighbors shifted uncomfortably, but the board didn't blink. Eleanor smiled thinly. We value all residents, MS. Bennett, but rules ensure uniformity. Portable generators are permitted with approval. Approval that's impossible to get, Sarah said. She's at risk. We'll re-VYEW it, Eleanor said, her gavel cutting off debate. Sarah left angry. Nora's frail frame burned into her mind. She began knocking on doors, hoping to build support. Neighbors were polite, offering tea, complimenting her compliant roses, but when she mentioned generators, their warmth vanished. You don't cross Eleanor, said Claire Robbins, a librarian. I got fined for a bird feeder. They'll bury you in citations. Others shared similar fears, rumors, fines, ostracism. The board's grip was ironclad. Her only ally was Ray Coleman, a retired firefighter who'd lived in Crestwood for decades. His garage was packed with model trains, their tracks looping like memories of a freer time. Over beer, Ray explained the board's rise. Eleanor's been in charge forever, he said. She's got City Hall in her pocket. I was on the board, once-way fixed streetlights, planned barbecues. Now it's her kingdom. I spoke up about Nora last year, and they cited my shed for non-compliant paint. It's control, pure and simple. How do we fight? Sarah asked. Ray's eyes were grim. You need a crisis. Something to wake people up. The crisis came at the storm. Forecasts warned of hurricane-force winds and flooding, with power outages almost certain. Sarah's worry for Nora grew urgent. She cited her the day before, finding her sorting old photos, her hands shaky. It's going to be rough, Sarah said. Your generator ready? Nora nodded, her jaw set. It's in the garage. I'll use it if I have to. Screw the fines. Sarah frowned. The board. I'm done caring, Nora said. My life's worth. They sat in silence, the storm outside growing louder. Nora spoke of her husband, her kids, her dream of seeing Maine's lighthouses. Dialysis had trapped her here, each treatment a chain. This house is my heart, she said, gazing at the walls. I won't let them take it. Sarah squeezed her hand. We'll keep you safe. The storm hit that night, a monster of wind and rain. Sarah was awake when Nora's text came, followed by the power cut. She grabbed her flashlight, a crowbar, and ran into the deluge. Crestwood with a battlefield, trees snapping, power lines swaying. At Nora's house, she found no response, no hum from the machine. She broke the laundry window, crawled through, and found Nora collapsed in the hall, her pulse faint, her breathing shallow. Hang on, Sarah whispered, her nurse's instincts kicking in. Her phone had no signal, the landline dead. She remembered Nora's generator in the garage's small unit, fueled and ready. Sarah dragged it to the backyard, rain soaking her, and set it under a flimsy overhang. She found extension cords, plugged in the machine, and yanked the generator's cord. It sputtered, then roared. The machine beeped, its screen glowing. Sarah connected Nora's tubes, her hands steady despite the fear. Stay with me, she murmured. The machine hummed, working its magic. Sarah wrapped Nora in blankets, her own clothes dripping. Hours passed, lightning flashing, but Nora's breathing stabilized. Her eyes opened, weak but alive. Sarah, she rasped. You're okay, Sarah said, tears falling. We got you. Nora's voice hardened. They almost killed me. The HOA. I let them scare me. We'll fight them, Sarah said. Together. Dawn broke, revealing Crestwood's ruined, smashed fences, scattered mailboxes, lawns littered with debris. Sarah stayed with Nora, the generator running until power returned after a grueling day. Nora was stable but fragile, her ordeal a warning. When Eleanor and Tom appeared, clipboards in hand, Sarah's rage flared. Eleanor's tone was smooth, her eyes on the generator. "We're glad you're safe, Nora, but this violates regulations. Remove it immediately." Sarah stepped forward, her voice low. "Nora nearly died because of you. You think rules matter more than her life." Eleanor stiffened. "Standards maintain our community. We allow permitted generators." "Permitted how?" Nora called, her voice cutting. "I've begged for years. You ignored me." "We'll discuss it later," Eleanor said, her smile tight. "Comply or face fines." Sarah slammed the door, her resolve steel. This was bigger than Nora now. Sarah called a reporter friend, Mia Torres, who saw a story that could resonate. Mia's crew filmed Nora recounting the storm, her voice trembling but fierce. Sarah described breaking in, setting up the generator under lightning's glare. The broadcast aired, exposing Crestwood's HOA as a tyrant. Neighbors spoke up. Ray shared his shed saga. Others admitted to petty fines that silenced them. The story exploded online, the Crestwood revolt trending, a petition for generator reform gaining thousands of signatures. Sarah and Nora formed the Crestwood Alliance, meeting in Ray's garage to strategize. They proposed medical exemptions and looser rules, rallying once fearful residents. The next HOA meeting was packed, over 100 residents crowding the room, cameras rolling. Eleanor tried to control the agenda, but the open forum unleashed fury complaints about fines for ramps, threats over paint, fear of retaliation. Nora spoke last, standing with Sarah's help. "I almost died," she said, her voice clear. "This isn't a community. It's a cage. We could do better." Applause erupted, shaking the room. Shockingly, Tom spoke up. "We need to rethink the generator ban, especially for medical needs." Eleanor's face tightened, but she conceded. "We'll allow Nora's generator and review the policy." It wasn't everything, but it was a crack in the board's armor. Weeks later, Nora's generator hummed behind Arbor Vitae, a quiet triumph. Sarah stood with her, watching Crestwood rebuild. The lawns were tidy again, but the air felt freer. The Alliance pushed for fairer rules, ensuring transparency. On Nora's porch, Sarah sipped coffee, the sunrise warm. "You saved me," Nora said, her eyes bright. "My life, my courage." "We save each other," Sarah said, smiling. "And maybe this place, too." Crestwood wasn't perfect, but was waking up. Beneath the uniform facades, a new heart beat, one that valued lives over laws, unity over fear. For Sarah and Nora, it was home at last. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.